Welcome to Clocking In, Voices of NC Manufacturing. I'm your host, Phil Mintz, Director of the North Carolina Manufacturing Extension Partnership, otherwise known as NCMEP. My role is to drive outreach to NC manufacturers, build relationships to federal and state leaders, and coordinate efforts to drive profitable manufacturing growth in North Carolina. Throughout my time working closely with manufacturers, I have heard the most quirky, curious, and memorable stories. I wanted to turn these stories into a podcast so that others may hear and be informed and inspired. From humble beginnings to manufacturing titans, from tragedy to triumph. I will be interviewing some of these manufacturers who have made North Carolina manufacturing the powerhouse that it is today. A technology and engineering-driven development partner and global leader in metal forming, Bharat Forge serves several sectors including automotive, aerospace, marine, oil and gas, power, construction, and mining. They have a transcontinental presence across 10 manufacturing locations across India, Germany, Sweden, France, and North America. They are a leading supplier of various components for the aviation sector, being known as a renowned name amongst aerospace forging companies in India and worldwide. Today, I'm sitting down with Bharat Forge machining manager, Casey Schaefer. Schaefer is a demonstrated history of working in the renewable, environmental, automotive, off-highway, and firearm industries. Schaefer earned his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from NC State University. And we love that because we're from NC State as well. Welcome to Clocking In, Casey. Glad you could join us.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Talk about, it's always great to see NC State University grad do well. Talk about how you got into Bharat. What was your journey when you finished up at NC State?
Yeah, so right out of NC State, I started in a local machining company, pretty much a contract machining company. So we had customers from all over the country, big and small. I was a manufacturing engineer and a quality engineer for them for about 3 to 4 years. I was out on the shop floor every day, working on machines, working on the process. Did that for about 3 to 4 years, then moved into wood biomass. Just got recruited out of there, had an opportunity, and I started there as a project and a process engineer. Kind of a newer industry. It was utility grade wood pellets. And a lot of them were going over to Europe for in their power plants to displace coal. So I worked there for about almost 7 years. And I saw Bharat Forge opening up a new facility here in Sanford. I saw they were going to have automotive, aluminum casting, forging, and machining. With my machining background, I started looking into them a little further. Thought it could be a good opportunity for me, so I applied and ended up moving over to Bharat Forge in their machining department, and then ended up leading the machining department here.
Yeah, so the automotive industry is very interesting and fast-paced. How are you enjoying that? Is that something you like to do?
Yeah, the fast pace is great. I'm a very active person in general, so running around all day is part of the job. We got customers coming in and out. We got machines going up and down. So it's very busy job, but it's very rewarding job, and definitely for high energy.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about Bharat Forge. People may not know a whole lot about them. Of course, they're a global company from India. Can you talk about kind of their strategies and how they ended up here in Sanford?
Bharat Forge was looking to get into the U.S. industry, the U.S. automotive industry. I think the automotive, kind of went down back in 2008 and 9, and I think it's coming back pretty strong now. And there's a lot of opportunity, and I think Bharat Forge wanted to come get in on it.
Yeah. So, again, it's always interesting to have these conversations about the automotive industry as things kind of start transitioning to electric vehicles and stuff like that. Does that transition, whenever it may happen in a bigger way, how does that affect the business as Bharat? Will you guys serve that industry as well?
Yeah, so Bharat Forge Aluminum, which is the facility here in Sanford, making all aluminum parts, and we make mostly steering knuckles, wheel carriers, and control arms. There's kind of two bonuses to that will impact kind of the electrical vehicles, and that's one is aluminum, and a lot of automotive companies are going to aluminum for its lightweight properties. So that's a big factor there. And then also it's a part of the steering and suspension system. So all electrical cars will have the same steering or similar steering and suspension system as a internal combustion car or a hybrid vehicle as well. So we currently provide parts to fully electric vehicles and internal combustion and hybrid vehicles.
All right, so you're already in the business.
Yep.
All right, so do you ship locally or how far away do you go?
There are some, so we're tier 1 and tier 2, which means we provide some parts to a sub-assembler and some parts direct to a OEM.
And they make stuff just south in South Carolina, I know. So
Yep, there's some parts going locally here in North Carolina to some sub-assemblers, and then there's some parts going down to the, I guess you call it southeast Alabama area as well, all over the country.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess is this your only plant here?
There is another plant in Tennessee.
Okay.
It's Bharat Forge PMT, and they focus more on the steel side of parts. But I am not as involved in that.
Yeah.
Plant.
So this plant is here to serve the whole United States, and
correct.
Yeah. How large how many people you have there?
I'm in the machining department, which is here off Lee Avenue. We kind of have a separate facility of 28 people, and it's 40,000 square feet. The HCM and forging line is over off Caliani Way and is a much bigger facility. They've completed Phase 1, which is one HCM and forging line, casting and forging line, and they're currently building their Phase 2, which will be a whole nother casting and forging line.
Wow. So sounds like growth there.
Yeah, absolutely good opportunity. Looks like lots of growth. The industry looks pretty strong.
So, I mean, we have to get into, the challenges of all manufacturing businesses is workforce.
Yep.
I mean, how's that going for you?
It's going good. It has challenges. Definitely trying to keep people and get them onboarded and trained up. And we've been working with the community college here with some trainings. We just recently kicked off a ABB robot training with them, which went really well. I had, I think, 3 people on my machining team in on that, along with some of the maintenance personnel from the other plants. So,
you guys adopting technology a bit more now as where you can? Or?
Both of our facilities are fully automated with robots, conveyor systems, high-tech stuff.
Yeah. So I guess the other big challenge for manufacturing is always here lately is supply chain and getting the supplies that you need. I guess being a global company, maybe that's not as troublesome for you, or how is that?
Well, here in Bharat Forge Aluminum, we basically make the castings from the individual metals themselves. So the aluminum alloys are melted down into the casting. So a really main material coming in is those raw materials, and those have not been a big supply chain issue. Now, some of the components to some of the manufacturing equipment can have some pretty long lead times, so we just have to kind of plan around that. Have maybe a long lead time item on the shelf just in case, because you can't go get it right down the street.
Yeah. So tell me about, looking ahead, what is the message that you're giving to these kids that are showing up here today? I mean, we're doing a manufacturing day activity, and this is a big recruiting opportunity when we see all these kids coming in. What do you tell them?
Yeah, so lots of opportunity in manufacturing, lots of opportunity here at Bharat Forge. It's a good industry to get into. You got multiple paths you can go throughout your career. You can go the technical route, you can go management routes, you can learn as much as you really want. So it can provide a good career for the long haul. So
we've been talking to Casey Schaefer. He's the machining manager at Bharat Forge in Sanford, North Carolina. Thanks for your time, Casey.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining today's Clocking In, Voices of NC Manufacturing. This podcast is brought to you by NC State's College of Engineering, the North Carolina Manufacturing Extension Partnership, and Industry Expansion Solutions. If you'd like to learn more about the solutions NCMEP offers, go to www.ncmep.org. Want to listen to previous Clocking In podcasts? Go to ncmep.org/clockingin.